Welcome to the Retro Video Store Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Retro Video Store Podcast. I'm your host Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And that's my co-host Neil.
I'm Neil. And who has a responsible job and is out there helping protect the woodlands by raking the forests, because that's all you need to do. If you just rake the forests like they do in Finland, you're not going to have any fires.
That would be David. He's out there on a fire somewhere in the wilds of Utah doing his job while we sit at home and think about how hard he's probably busting his ass out there.
Well, he's not like on the ground anymore, man. He does the boss stuff now, doesn't he? Or are they still running around in the woods?
I think he does a little bit of running around the woods, but not as much as he did maybe 6-7 years ago.
Okay. Well, especially God with his shoulder. That thing's probably not even healed up all the way.
Yeah. I think he's a battalion chief, so they kind of coordinate the resources and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay. Well, easy enough.
He's the boss.
So Eric, what did you watch this week?
I was going to ask you first.
But I asked you first.
Okay, well, I watched a shitload of stuff. I watched Total Recall today while I was taking a nap after work, and watched some of Total Recall, enough to say I watched the entire movie. And then The Running Man came on after Total Recall, and I watched about an hour of that, what made me think, hey, we haven't done The Running Man yet, and we haven't done an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in quite a while, so next week we'll be doing The Running Man.
Dude, anytime I'm somewhere and there's music at a party, I'm doing The Running Man.
You're doing The Running Man?
Yes.
And the Roger Rabbit and the Cabbage Patch and whatever, all the other moves that we, did in the 80s.
Sprinkler,
yeah. The lawnmower.
Yep. Shopping, taking stuff off the shelves.
Yes. We are uncoordinated. Or I am, at least. Very uncoordinated. But I watched that, and I've been sleeping on the couch because it's hot. Not because me and the missus are on the outs or anything like that, but so I put on the TV and set the timer for the TV to go off in 2 hours. And pretty much I've watched The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 several times on Showtime. So I've got that in. I wake up and I'm like, gonna make him an offer, I can't refuse. It's in my head. Yeah, that is stuck in my head. I watched a little bit of Slumber Party Massacre the other day.
Okay.
Just because it was, I was bored and I was looking on what was on Amazon Prime, and Slumber Party Massacre was there. Fun movie. Fun. Just.
Yep. You know the great thing about Slumber Party Massacre?
What?
Do you really want to know?
Well, there's boobs. There's lots of boobs.
Well, there's that. It's not Black Christmas.
Yeah, that's true. It's not Black Christmas. It's much better than Black Christmas. So.
It sucks so bad. It's horrible.
So I have tickets to see Metallica on Sunday.
No, they were just here for 2 nights.
Yeah, Levi Stadium just for 2 nights. Yeah.
Yeah, Levi Stadium for 2 nights. I don't know, man. I don't like outdoor music.
Yeah.
In certain venues. And I had friends that went and they had seats that were higher up and they said the sound was really, really awful. I saw, I got some friend gave me tickets to see U2, but that was at Oakland Coliseum, I think. Mm-hmm. It's been a bit back. And those guys have been playing arenas. They know how to get they know to get the sound where it needs to go. But I just didn't hear good things about Metallica and James's voice. I've been listening to live clips from it, and it's just one of those things. It's guys, maybe it's time to maybe calm down from the touring just a little bit. Maybe give us one of those Rolling Stone things every 5 years.
Well, I was watching some videos from the tour earlier this year. All right, I say James' voice is diminished, but he still sounds okay. And most of them, they most sound pretty decent. And I'm hoping they play some old stuff. And I don't want to hear too much from the new album. I was looking at the set list, and they're playing 2 nights. So the set list is going to be very different. They don't play the same set list twice if they play a venue 2 times, so hopefully I'll get the good night instead of not the night of load music again.
Say you don't want to hear all the greats from Saint Anger.
Yeah, or load, or
Load or reload. I am old enough that I saw them when they opened for Ozzy when Cliff Burton was playing the bass. So that's my old guy flex.
Well, I saw them at Tingley Coliseum in 1992, and actually you can look it up and look at all the dates that they played, and it was February 2nd of 1992 for the Black Album. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was we were on the floor, and it was some people I was going to college with at the time, and it was a pretty fun time. I just remember the only thing that disappointed me is that they had a super indulgent guitar solo by Kirk Hammett. It's just like, all right, stop. I remember that it was just stop noodling.
Well, it's like when you go to watch AC/DC, you know Angus Young is going to do that for like a half hour and like run through the crowd and do all of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But on a positive note, it's not Taylor Swift.
Yeah. It's going to be at Empower Field, which is Mile High Stadium, where the Broncos play.
What's it called now?
Empower Field.
Empower Field.
Yeah. It plays all they change it all the time. It's always Mile High, but it's been the corporate sponsor has changed up quite a bit. It was like, the Sports Authority at Mile High, but then Sports Authority went under, and then there was some other thing that went under. So it's kind of cursed. If you pay to sponsor the Mile High Stadium, your business will go under eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you're spending all your money trying to take care of Mile High Stadium.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll let you know next. It's next Sunday, so I'll have to record on a Monday.
Okay, I'm good. Let's do it on Monday.
All right.
Oh,
very good, very good.
All right.
So, what did you watch this week, Neil?
I was in kind of a funky mood. I saw a thing online. I was cruising around, and it's like they're doing a King of the Hill reboot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, King of the Hill reboot. And then it hit me, and I'm like, wait a minute. I have watched a couple episodes of the new Beavis and Butthead, but I never finished it. So I went out of my way to finish the Beavis and Butthead, and those it just doesn't get better. Those are freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
They only got funnier. Have you watched any of them?
I watched like the first 2 episodes of the reboot, and I haven't really get in.
You got to watch the one where they get pulled onto jury duty. It's so
You're frozen, Neil.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, now I can. Right.
Okay, good. Well, you still hear me. Anyway, really, really good. And for some reason, I started watching a lot of old Japanese samurai movies. And then I kind of capped that off with the Seven Samurai, which is a great movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I had Zatoichi versus Yojimbo, Seishiro, Sanjiro. Watched that one. That one was pretty good. So, yeah, I watched a bunch of old samurai movies. That was about it. Nothing exciting. And then just kind of like, serial television, kind of the shows that I sit down and chill out and watch with my wife when she gets home.
Yeah.
So nothing exciting, nothing huge.
I did watch that documentary called Surviving Ohio State. Depressing. It is so depressing.
Oh, is that the Jim Jordan one where he still hasn't like answered his
100%. That's exactly it.
We're the Law and Order people, but I'm not going to answer this. I'm not going to go in for a summons or whatever they gave him.
Yeah. It just shows you how far people will go to protect institutions. That they will throw the health and welfare of these athletes who are disposable to the university and cover it all up and drive some of them to suicide and have, other people to have all sorts of mental problems and stuff like that in order just to keep an institution going. So, yeah.
Can I bring up a obvious thing here? You are Catholic, right?
I'm not. I'm a lapsed Catholic.
Well, a lapsed would be, but still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of institutions, I'm only Catholic on Notre Dame weekends on Saturday. So
that's when your Catholic really bubbles back.
It really
up.
comes out. Yes. I'm, crossing myself and everything like that. The rest of the week, I'm an atheist, so it's gonna
just you and touchdown Jesus. You're good to go.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's they're an institution that has covered up shit too. With they had some poor camera operator get crushed by the crane, and the Brian Cummings, who was the coach at the time, just pretty much brushed it off, and he of course left to LSU. He left in under shady circumstances. So yeah. Anyway, every institution is evil. Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, they've all covered up, awful things going on with their athletic department and the abuse of their athletes. If you want to watch a depressing documentary, watch Surviving Ohio State on HBO Max.
No, I'm good. I will probably watch as many sports documentaries as I do sporting events.
Yeah, so not many.
No, yeah, none at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about depressing Ohio State documentaries. We're here to talk about Zeus's butthole.
What is the name of Zeus's butthole? I'd forgotten about that. And the other one, Cut the Chit Chat A-hole. Yes. Yes. I will take movies from 1996, Alex.
We're watching The Rock. And if you don't like all Sean Connery impersonations, better turn it off now.
Do it. An FBI chemical weapons expert and the former SAS soldier turned political prisoner must break into Alcatraz prison when a rogue military group led by a renegade general take it over and threaten to nerve gas attack on San Francisco. Suck it, Trebek.
Yes. Shall I do the knock-knock joke already?
Oh, do it. Get it out of the way.
All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dishes.
Dishes who?
Dishes Sean Connery.
It's so stupid. There have to be better Sean Connery knock-knock jokes.
Yeah. But The Rock from 1996, it is probably the most 90s action movie that I can think of.
God, just the camera work, the beginning of the cliche of them standing in the camera kind of panning around them as pandemonium goes on.
It edits so many edits. I kept counting. I couldn't count more than 3 seconds while watching this movie per edit. It was like 1, 2, okay, cut. 1, 2, 3, cut. 1, 2, cut. Well, it was just, they could not stay still. There were so many cuts in the movie. It was ridiculous.
But I think that's really, really smart though, because I think most people would have a hard time sitting there and staring at something like watching the action like that. I think this was really cut. It was cut like a music video. It was for music video age people at the time, teenagers, 20 somethings. I think it hit just for that. Yeah.
And there are so many character actors in this movie.
God, they were all fantastic.
Yeah. This is probably the best Michael Bay movie, I'm going to say. Looking at Michael Bay's filmography, I will go down and say this one is the best. He did a lot of He did a lot of music videos and commercials, and you can tell this is a very commercial style. Everything's super glossy. Either you're sweating, or it's raining, or you're sweating in the rain. It's his filmography includes Bad Boys, the first one, which is pretty good. Then The Rock, Armageddon. Ugh. It's entertaining, but just dumb. Not great. Especially when Steve Buscemi's character gets like space madness or whatever it is. So just like, what the fuck is going on here? Then he did Pearl Harbor, which is just awful. Ben Affleck and yeah, not good. Bad Boys 2, which I have never seen. I hear it's super over the top. I probably should see it. I've not seen it. Then he did The Island with Scarlett Johansson. And
I'm going to interrupt you. I have got a great, I'm going to interject this, and hopefully you follow through with it. What do you mean you ain't seen Bad Boys 2?
Oh, this is from Hot Fuzz, right?
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we can stay friends.
Okay. Did Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Transformers Dark of the Moon. So, 3 Transformers movies. Pain and Gain, which I hear is actually pretty decent. It's got Mark Wahlberg and The Rock. I hear it's different than his normal kind of movie. Transformers: Age of Extinction, The 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, Transformers: Last Night, Six Underground, which is a Netflix movie I've not seen, Ambulance, and then We Are Storer. It came out in 2025. About Storer, a group of parkour and free-running athletes, produced and directed by Michael Bay. It'll be his first documentary, and it was just shown at South by Southwest. And here we go. Untitled Skibbity Toilet Film is what he's doing next.
No. Say no. You're fucking lying.
That's what it says. TVA, Untitled Skibbity Toilet Film.
Oh, Michael, you have so many more music videos in you. You don't need to do Skibbity Toilet.
Yeah, he's, he did produce, or he has a production company, Platinum Dunes. And Platinum Dunes did so many horror movie remakes. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Amityville Horror, Texas Chainsaw The Beginning, a Hitcher remake, The Unborn, Friday the 13th, which is probably their best remake. Although the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake is pretty good. Nightmare on Elm Street remake, not great. Responsible for the Purge movies, The Purge, Purge Anarchy, Ouija.
No, I will give this. I had no desire to watch any of the Purge movies, but my wife really, really likes the Purge movies. Mm-hmm. And I've watched a few and I've seen them so many times. I'm now beginning to kind of have a fondness for the Purge.
Yeah. That was kind of me with the Final Destination. I knew they were bad, but then all of a sudden HBO was showing them like every other day. And then you're like, oh shit, part 3's on. Let's watch that. And you start liking it. And then you're like, I like this ironically. Then then ironically turns to actually liking it. Before we jump into the movie proper, what has inundated your Instagram Reels timeline?
Just some amazing music. Just amazing. This guy, he raps, but he covers songs. And I think the best part is this guy is past regular music. And like, let's say, okay, we want to do this in the key of E, but he's like, you know what? I could do this, but I could do it in all keys. Mm-hmm. I could do it in all keys. Why not rap and just go off in all different directions and do that? And then I found music from people that channel aliens and do Star Talk. Mm-hmm. And it's an yes. it's an elevated, and I've got like 3 or 4 chicks on there that do that. And then there is a Persian woman who's had a lot of plastic surgery, and she wants to sing. And she's got a great one how she fell in love with an eagle, but the claw let her fall. Oh, amazing. And then she raps too. And the great thing is you're wondering, like, is this talent coming out of her? Because her face doesn't really move. Mm-hmm. And it's just great. And I had to share those with you. And then I realized, I looked at what I'd done. I'm like, all I'm doing, just every one I'd flip up. I'm like, oh, that's fucking great. I got to send that to Eric. Boop, send that to Eric. I'd scroll up and watch another one 3 or 4 times. No,
you just totally screwed your algorithm. That's all you're gonna get now.
It's so good. I mean, there was no getting around how awesome it was. I sent those to everybody. Well, not literally everybody, but everybody on my contacts list, except for my mom.
I might have mentioned this last episode, but there's this Instagram feed called Homo Macabre, and it is just the beginning of these terrible. It's all the dialogue parts of gay porn until they get to the action. So funny to me.
Yeah, you've sent a few, and they're kind of frightening. Okay, to all 4 of you out there on Instagram, his name is Justin Barona, Barona. You owe it to yourself to listen to these. His rendition of 4 Non-Blondes, What's Up? Amazing. Mwah. Masterpiece. So good. Look at he's right here. Look. There he is.
I do see him, yes.
Yes, Justin.
Yes, I got to watch about 6 of those today from Neil.
So. Him doing Tool. That was so great. War Pigs, even better.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder if they're in on the joke or they're totally lack self-awareness and they're just doing this in.
So I would have thought this was epic level trolling if I had never watched the auditions for American Idol. I never watched American Idol all the way through. I always watch the auditions because there's always that one weird kid who gets up there and they're like, mom and dad is like, oh, they have a voice of an angel. They're the best ever. And then they sing and it's horrible. And then they storm outside and they're like, they don't know what they're missing on. I'm the next big thing. Like, yeah, something's wrong with them. Maybe they've been
nobody's ever
off.
told them they suck.
Yes.
And mm-hmm.
But my child is so good. These judges don't know what they're talking about. I really think that it is epic, like non-self-awareness. And it is so, so glorious. Like that one guy, the human cigarette butt that does karaoke that I love to send you.
So this is also like watching The Bachelor. You only watch the first 2 episodes because that's when the craziest women are on the show. And they finally weed them out after like the first 2 episodes. But that's when the crazy hijinks happens and the craziness is just at its maximum level. And once they start weeding them down and pretending that they're in sort of searching for a relationship, you don't want to watch that shit. You want to see crazy, crazy ladies. That's, I also tried to watch one episode of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And it was just even too trashy for me to watch. I was just, okay, I can't watch this. I can't.
What's the one? So You Think You Can Dance. Mm-hmm. That one is actually good because it's people that are, I mean, obviously there's going to be the weirdos that get through, but getting to see like all these really cool people that just love dance and can move themselves like so beautifully. You know, I don't want to watch the whole competition, but you watch them like, cause they're going to audition with something they're good at. Right.
Yeah.
That one's amazing, but yeah, it's like, again, like your whatever Bachelorette, the first few episodes, so good. I love the American Idol auditions, but I don't
ever watch The Bachelorette because it's the one girl and it's just like 50 horny dudes trying to mack on her. I don't want to see that.
The Bachelor.
But it's The Bachelor where it's the guy and the crazy ladies that are trying to, you know, to
snag
get him. Yeah, it's high comedy of the unintentional level.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Weren't we talking about The Rock?
Oh, yeah, we were.
We were talking about The Rock. All right. So
okay.
Back to Michael Bay. Directed this one. Writers were David Weisberg, Douglas S. Cook, and Mark Rosner, but it had uncredited rewrites by Aaron Sorkin and Quentin Tarantino. And you can tell which parts Tarantino did because there's a Mexican standoff at the end of the movie. And the kind of really arch dialogue about patriotism and all that kind of stuff like that. That's probably the Aaron Sorkin part. So, but this movie is just a big hodgepodge of other movies and other just concepts. You know, there's a little bit of Die Hard, a little bit of, you know, the heist movie, a little bit of, you know, buddy comedy, a bit buddy cop type movie. It just, lots of prison escape film. It's just lots of genres mashed together in this movie to surprisingly good effect.
I am really disappointed though, because I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. I have been to Alcatraz several times and I have never seen the Indiana Jones mine carts underneath it.
Oh yeah. I wondered about that.
that is something I feel that I got ripped off with because I've been there. You know, I bought the big giant souvenir key, you know, the shape of the key that they put in there to open up the doors and all that stuff, and seen the place, you know, the spot on the floor where they threw the grenade.
And that would be a good amusement park ride, just ride these mine carts that are, you know. Yeah. Yeah, this movie is wild. What was the tagline for the movies in this one?
Alcatraz. Only one man has ever broken out. Now 5 million lives depend on 2 men breaking in and making sure that they get home so one of them can fuck the prom queen.
Losers, winners. Yeah. So Sean Connery is the star. He's John Mason, a former British spy and the only man to ever escape Alcatraz. And his stunt double. There was some obvious stunt double work in this movie.
I was, God, you beat me to the point, you asshole. I'm like, what about the stunt double? He got out of there too. Oh.
Yeah. There's some really, Sean Connery was 65 when he made this movie. So there are some obvious stunt doubles going on in this movie, especially when he's running or fighting or anything like that. You just got to see that toupee on the stunt double. And he's an executive producer on this movie. And a lot based on what on the making of, it sounded like he wanted to make a movie that would rival GoldenEye because that came out, and he wanted to show people that he could still be a viable action hero while Pierce Brosnan was in GoldenEye. And I've only seen GoldenEye like once or twice. I remember it being good, but not great.
Nothing like the game. The game was the winner.
Yeah, everybody remembers the game. If you had a Nintendo 64, GoldenEye was the game. That was the shit.
It was a win-win. That's how good it was. I got a New Mexico shit. It was a shit.
The shit.
Okay, but I really want to talk about the reversal of roles with Ed Harris and Michael Biehn.
Yes. I mean, let's talk about Nicolas Cage real quick before we get to the other character actors. This is prime Nick Cage. He is in the middle of his golden age, Nicolas Cage, because he did this movie, Face Off. He did The Rock, Con Air, Face Off, Gone in 60 Seconds, the National Treasure movies. And so he was kind of like really a viable action star, because before he was just on all the quirky movies. He was, in Moonstruck and Vampire's Kiss and Raising Arizona. He was known for like these as a character actor, but he kind of came into his own. And of course, he won a Oscar for Leaving Las Vegas in '95, but that was pre-action star Nick Cage.
Can we talk about the finest movie he's ever made?
Are you talking about the unbearable weight of massive talent? Yeah.
You've seen it, I hope. Please,
I have not yet. I've not seen it yet.
Dude, it is amazing. He's so subtle, and there's so many references to all of his other films and things that he does. It's great, because as soon as you said Nick Cage, I wanted to introduce it like he does in the movie, but you haven't seen it yet, so it would be comedy gold lost because you haven't gotten off your backside and watched this film yet.
I remember him in Peggy Sue Got Married, where he did like this little musical number, and he was just so weird in it.
But I love you, Peggy Sue.
Man, he was Tiny Elvis on SNL too.
Look at the size of that thing. That's huge. I could never eat all that.
Man, that's huge.
Okay, let's go. Let's hit some of these actors, man. These things were badass.
Yeah, this is a murderer's row of character actors. We got Ed Harris as Brigadier General Frank Hummel, Michael Biehn at his most Michael Biehn as Commander Charles Anderson. He's with the Navy SEALs. William Forsythe, Dick Morse, John C. McGinley's in there. Tony Todd, the Candyman
himself,
is in this movie. Bokeem Woodbine is in there for a little bit, kind of. Danny Nucci, and of course Claire Forlani. She was hot there for a little bit, and then just kind of fell off the face of the earth. But there was even who's the guy who was in the Paul Thomas Anderson movies? He was one of the people in there too. He was like in the president's cabinet or whatever. You just see a bunch of that guy character actors in the movie, Philip Baker Hall. Yeah, that's Philip Baker Hall. He was in there. He was in the Paul Thomas Anderson. He was in Hard Eight, Boogie Nights, Magnolia. And he's the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Xander Berkeley. Stanley Anderson is President of the United States. Yeah, it's just tons of your character actors. And it's kind of like, hey, I've seen this guy before. Hey, I've seen this guy before.
Skinny William Forsythe was in this.
Yes.
My wife didn't even recognize him until, he's in the bathroom and Nick Cage is throwing up. And I walked in and was like, hey, anybody see Richie? She goes, oh my God, that's the guy.
Yeah, it is. Anybody see Richie? Yeah, it's a good ensemble cast. It brings it together. Even Con Air had a really good ensemble cast full of like really good character actors in it as well. So that kind of Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer film. Speaking of that, this is the last movie that Don Simpson produced before his drug overdose. So it is dedicated to him in at the end of the movie. dedicated to Don Simpson. He was a notorious film producer, and Jerry Bruckheimer is still producing movies right now, but they did together Flashdance, Beverly Hills Cop, Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, The Ref, that's a different one for them, Bad Boys, Crimson Tide, Dangerous Minds, The Rock. That's the last one co-produced with Don Simpson. And just a lot of movies. Jerry Bruckheimer, of course, by himself. Con Air, Armageddon, Enemy of the State, Gone in 60 Seconds, Coyote Ugly, Remember the Titans, Black Hawk Down. He's just done tons of movies. He's probably one of the most prolific producers in Hollywood. But definitely every movie that they have has this kind of sheen to it, very glossy kind of movie. But definitely have put their stamp on Hollywood when they were producing. The critical consensus. You want to hit us with that?
It's fairly positive for the most part.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes give the film 67% based on 72, gives an average of 6.6 to 10. And the critic consensus reads, for visceral thrills, it just can't be beat. Just don't expect The Rock to engage your brain. On Metacritic, the film has a weighted score of 58 of 100, and that's based on 24 critics, and that's mixed or average. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average grade of A on an A+ to F scale. Roger Ebert, no surprise, awarded the film 3.5 out of 4 stars, praising it as a first-rate slam-bang action thriller with a lot of style and no little humor. And it's so freaking accurate because this is not high art. Mm-hmm. They weren't making high art with this movie. They weren't making much with this movie, but they weren't making high art. Mm-hmm. Todd McCarthy of Variety gave the film a positive review, commenting, the yarn has its share of gaping holes and jaw-dropping improbabilities. How do you get thrown off of a balcony with just a little cord around your wrist and not stretch your shoulder out 12 feet long? But all right, I'm sorry. I'm still that part irritated me. But director Michael Bay sweeps them all aside with his never take a breath pacing. Richard Corliss, writing for the Time, wrote, slick, brutal, and almost human. This is the team spirit action movie Mission Impossible should have been.
So it was a huge hit. It was a $75 million budget, which seems pretty small compared to the huge budgets of today where like movies are costing $200 million and stuff now, but $75 million in this movie looks like all $75 million is on the screen. It looks amazing. The cinematography, the explosions, just everything, the set design, everything looks really, really good. So that was $75 million well spent. $134 million in the U.S. box office, $335 million in worldwide. So it was a big hit in the summer of 1996. I did not see this in the theater. Did you see it in the theater?
Yeah, I saw this in the theater. Wasn't missing this. Come on, man.
I saw this on video. I remember renting it and watching it and enjoying it. And it was also on HBO all the time. Then it was on TNT and TBS like all the time. It was like every other week. Oh, this is a digression. Have you noticed that cable TV has devolved into one channel every weekend is showing all the Harry Potter movies, right? One channel is showing all the John Wick movies. One channel is showing Marvel movies, and one channel is showing the Hunger Games. And maybe one is showing the Hobbit movies. But all premium cable channel, not premium, or like the TBS, TNT's, USA's, FX type movies of the world have played the same shit all the time.
So I don't have cable.
I have YouTube TV, which is basically having cable, but they basically play the same shit all the time. Just like Comedy Central has turned into the Office channel. There's like no original series on Comedy Central. There is South Park and The Daily Show, and then they play the Office reruns all the time. That's it. There was never like half-hour comedy hour, or there's no new stand-up specials. There's no like Strangers with Candy or any of their weird shit they used to put on there. It's just they've lost it. It's like where's the new shit? There's no new stuff coming out, especially on Comedy Central. It's like what the fuck happened?
I had cable for like a tiny, tiny brief moment in my life. And as soon as streaming came along, I ditched it.
Yeah.
But thanks for bringing up that you've had cable for so long. Even when we were kids, heartless bastard.
I know it seems it's like one of those things I've always had, so I just keep it no matter what. Even though I don't really watch it, I'm just like I still have to have it. You know?
Yeah, not that way here. Not that way here. I do manage. So if God, old people stuff. I bundled my cell phones and my internet all together, and took my payments way down. And then adding in bundles for streaming, saving so much money. I love it.
Yeah, I cut the cord of your normal Xfinity type cable, and got rid of my alarm, and got rid of my home phone, and just pay for the internet, and that saved me like $200 a month too. Just an old man moment, everybody, saving money. I
don't save money with this. I ain't watching it. I ain't paying for it. Damn it.
Yeah, god damn it. Yeah. So let's talk about the movie a little more. You set up Ed Harris as General Hummel is kind of a bad guy that you can kind of relate to. You know, his axe that he has to grind with the government is kind of righteous. He's just like, why the fuck did he come up with this this way to do it? You know?
Yeah. And he's got all this grief and pain. He doesn't have his wife anymore. He's lost all these men. They never take any accountability for it. But this is, follow me if you really got kind of tired of this partway through the movie, that we understand that the situation is dire, but there's got to be somebody in the room who is an expert and rapid fire explains why the situation is dire.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened so much.
You have not seen Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Every scene has somebody explaining what is going on and why we're doing this. Every scene, there's just no like, we're just gonna let the audience figure it out. No, there's always an exposition character. Like this one has it, but you noticed it, but I didn't notice as much. But if you want to see a movie that is just yeah, there's like one person, tell us what's going on, and these VX rockets have the worst chemical known to man. We wish we could uninvent it.
Yeah. Or the Navy SEALs giving them a rundown of what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like that, sir. Like, okay, cool. You know what? I'm not so sad that you got shot. There is an obsession that he has with close-ups of people's face. Mm-hmm. He's a face movie guy. There's always the camera is just like right on, like, hey, here we go. Mm-hmm. It's like doesn't give these guys for an action movie. You want to see action, but the action is all quick cuts. Like if you're watching action like John Wick, you want to see that Keanu Reeves did some training. It's like a 3-second clip of like guys kind of crouched down, moving really quiet or thumping onto the ground, and then boom, you skip away to something else.
Yeah. And there's so much rain at the beginning of the movie. Just so much rain. It just is ridiculous. Like, man, I wonder how much it costs to have the rain machines all the time.
Just one guy with a water hose. And I don't know. I have never in my life at any point just stood. Like if it started raining, I never walk out and just sort of like stand and let the water just drip down the edge of my nose and look at somebody have a conversation. I'm like, you want to go underneath the awning with the canopy? Or
you got an umbrella?
Would you like my, I've got a jacket, but there's so many people just like standing around. This movie is excessively moist.
It is very moist.
It's a very, very moist film. And I loved that in the moisture, we get that. You remember those? They always had those Navy and SEAL commercials where the guys came out of the water.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You see the eyes that come out of the water and they got the gun. And I had forgotten about that. And I was like, hell yes, let's go back. Let's get every stereotype from every recruiting video ever known to man and throw into this movie. So can you let me just let's Come on, this is important to me. Okay. Can you, let's say, if you were in a pool, could you open your eyes and then stand up and keep your eyes open and
No.
not have to
Yeah.
blink? Okay. What kind of inhuman freak can do that? I get when they run the film backwards, like Martin Sheen, Apocalypse Now, he kind of lowers in like this, but having your eyes open and then coming out and then not be like, oh, and then like rubbing
Jesus,
the palms of your hand. And they were, God knows what was in that water. If they didn't get shot, they were getting some kind of weird bacterial shit, because the San Francisco Bay is nowhere I would want to be submerged in water. Try it in the shower. Try it in the shower.
All right, I'll do that. I'll just stand there with my eyes open.
Just stand there and let the water kind of like drip down. But just gotta see if it doesn't like tickle the shit out into your nose.
All right, I'll do that. I'll pretend I'm in a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, just stare off into the distance.
So Dr. Stanley Goodspeed.
Godspeed. Godspell.
Yes, Godspeed. That I did like the intro where they had to diffuse the chemical, the chemical in their lab and stuff like that. That was kind of cool. And of course, that they set up Chekhov's needle where you have to inject yourself in the heart to counteract the.
That was the funniest goddamn bit of the whole movie. They finally get the thing going, and then they cut back to the new guy, and he's like, "You wanted me to put this in my heart." funniest part of the whole film.
Yeah, and there's like almost like a movie within a movie, because they set up the general is going to hold people hostage on Alcatraz and stuff like that, but there's this little part that's like 30 to 40 minutes long where it's Nicolas Cage chasing around Mason, in this extended car chase sequence through the streets of San Francisco, which you got to go down all the steep streets, and it's a good car chase, but it's every car chase cliche is packed into that.
Yes, and as a resident of the area, I would like to directly say to any filmmaker that wants to use San Francisco for a film or for shooting, that you can go fuck yourself, because it makes it absolutely impossible to get anywhere. The traffic is already really bad. Michael Bay, you've ruined it for people. I don't even know what the film was, got stuck because they closed stuff off and like redirecting and things. I'm like, dude, I only know one way to get there. So then you're trying to navigate like San Francisco traffic and do your map app at the same time. Impossible. You're going to take out somebody on the sidewalk. And not all the streets are like that, but they make San Francisco look like that. And that city always takes a beating. There's hardly ever a movie where someone is like, you know what a lovely time we had in San Francisco. No, you know what? Magneto's going to pick up this whole ass bridge with everybody on it. Or you know what? We're going to send a tidal wave in, or we're going to mess with people at the baseball game. Oh, you have this lovely bay here. Would it be nice if we launched some rockets that had a lovely string of pearls configuration inside of it with one of the worst substances known to man that they wish they'd been able to uncreate on the inside?
I did like when they were raiding the weapons cache, and then they dropped the little green ball filled with it, and the guy got all mushed up in it. Got exposed to it. That part was kind of cool.
He had good bubbles on his face.
Yeah, good face bubbles, nice bladder effects going on.
Yeah, he bubbled good.
Yeah, that was fun. At least to let you know, like, oh, this shit is pretty serious. We'll probably see somebody else get this treatment later. They like to say, it's very set up a lot, everything for later on, your needles, your, people's faces bubbling and everything like that. How wily Sean Connery is using a bent quarter to scratch scratch glass. Yeah.
He's very wily. He's super wily.
I did like Michael Biehn. He you didn't expect him to die as quickly as he did, but I think that was a nice kind of, bait and switch, because you're like used to him being like the head guy, in the movies. You can trust Michael Biehn in whatever he's in, and then he gets wasted by the general's crew. And yeah.
Well, Anakin didn't understand this concept. Anakin didn't understand this concept. The Navy SEALs didn't understand this concept.
So apparently during the making of the movie, they're running over budget, and Michael Bay threatened to walk off the film if they didn't throw in a couple more $1 million so they can do that underwater sequence where they're diving from the submarine to get to the island. They didn't want to pay for that.
How shitty did their little underwater scooters look?
Yeah, I know they did, didn't they?
Yeah, they looked really shitty, and they had that weird readout screen that never really moved when they abandoned them.
Yeah.
Well, back in his day, they just did it with fins and a snorkel.
Yeah, that
seemed like it would have worked better.
Yeah, how big are the tunnels underneath Alcatraz? I know we talked about that a little bit, but yeah,
I've been there. They only ever let us stay on the top part.
And Mason was doing like full on video game kind of stuff. Like, I'm going to roll through this flame by timing it just perfectly.
Oh God, yes, that had to be brought up. What, have you ever seen Galaxy Quest?
Yes. Why are all these things swimming in the room?
What's the purpose of this? Why is this here?
The unnecessary obstacle room. Yeah, he's just, doing all the crazy shit he did to get out, but doing it in reverse, and welcome to the Rock. And you knew that the general was going to not go through with his plan. But okay, let's go back to the green pearl thingy. I thought that looked fucking cool. I was like, that looks fucking cool. I wanted to look like Jello.
Well, it was very elegant, like a string of pearls configuration.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Okay. So, and then two, Sean Connery's got a hold of that fucking thing, and then he started, careful with that. And he's sitting there almost dropping it. And I'm like, so if it is one of the most dangerous substances known to man, why aren't you being calm? Like, hey man, by the way, don't drop that. We're all dead. Mm-hmm. Don't make any loud noises or spook him.
Oh, let's go back to Nick Cage's acting a little bit.
Oh, and then I got another thing to bring up. Okay. What's that?
He apparently added a lot of things to his character to kind of flesh it out. Of course, him being a vinyl enthusiast and Beatles freak and all this kind of stuff, and he ad-libbed some of his dialogue, and he didn't cuss. He always said other things, except for like one time he cusses like twice in the movie, but he would say other things to kind of make his character more nerdy. And he was balding pretty good in this movie. He didn't really.
I feel attacked. I feel attacked by you bringing this up. Honestly.
Well, if you look at his hair in other movies, the Ghost Rider being one of them, his hair in the Ghost Rider is just terrible. As the worst wig ever. And this is like the Ghost Rider was one of my all-time favorite characters.
Such a great comic book. And then they give it to him.
Yeah.
Did you see the stint with the new Ghost Rider in the car on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Did you see the look they had for him?
That looked kind of cool, yeah.
He looked cool. He looked really good. All right, I want to go back to Sean Connery's escape.
Okay.
Those poor waiters on that escalator. So not only did Sean Connery just beat the living shit out of them, they finally get a chance to stand back up and get up the escalator. Here comes Nick Cage around the corner. He beats the shit out of them too. Totally unnecessary. All those guys just wanting to work.
Yeah. Yeah, all the cliches are in this movie, but done well enough that you kind of forgive them a little bit. The Candyman, Tony Todd turns out to be him and the other actor. I can't remember his name. They're the bad people on the general's crew. They're like mercenaries or whatever. So they get into the standoff, and the general gets shot. And he regrets what he did, and then there's a whole sequence where they're trying to disarm the last two missiles. And yeah, that takes a while. And of course, he succeeds, and he brings out the green flares, which nobody could have seen from how fast the jets were going.
Some of it though, I'm super glad that they cut out, because have you seen any of the bit that they cut out, like some of the exposition? Because there was way too much exposition in the movie. But have you seen like any of the cuts and stuff on YouTube?
No,
No, there was this whole thing with Sean Connery as they're going underneath, he's like giving them history of Alcatraz. And he's like, now this is something that other people won't tell you. In this particular cell block, Machine Gun Kelly had what we call.
See, I knew you were going to do the "So I Married an Ex-Murderer" thing. I was like, when is he going to?
What we call the prison system a bitch. And one night in a jealous rage, Kelly took a makeshift knife or shiv and cut out the bitch's eyes. And as if there wasn't enough retribution for Kelly, the next day he and 4 inmates took turn pissing into the bitch's ocular cavities. This way to the cafeteria, Agent Goodspeed.
My name is Vicky.
You can call me Vicky.
That's an underrated comedy, So I Married an Ex-Murderer. Harriet. Cold-hearted harbinger of haggis.
Harbinger of haggis.
Love it. Whoa, man.
Interesting. I have for my bagpipes, but I have not gone through the effort to learn it. Rod Stewart's If You Think I'm Sexy.
Yeah. We've got a piper down.
A piper down.
So the movie, going back to the movie, if you have not seen it, you should see it. It is a lot of fun. It is peak 90s action movie. You know, the heroes are going to save the day. There's a couple little twists and turns and stuff like that, but it is high style, super fast editing. Like Neil said, like a music video or a cologne commercial. It's just stylized to the hilt, but it is a lot of fun. Is it a great movie? No, but like Neil said earlier, it is not trying to be.
No, it's exactly what it needs to be. That's what makes this movie fantastic.
What is funny is this is the only Michael Bay movie in the Criterion Collection. For some reason, this movie was picked to be part of the Criterion Collection catalog. And people, when it came out, remember people being kind of pissed. The gatekeepers of the Criterion Collection are like, why is this movie in there? Blah, 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 you know. I don't know if you've seen this on YouTube. It is like my dream. It's called the Criterion Closet, where they invite people to pick out movies to keep from the Criterion Closet. And Ryan Coogler, the director of Sinners and Black Panther, was just did one that was really, really good. And Willem Dafoe does a really good one. But that is my dream. Say, Eric, go into the Criterion Closet and pick out some movies and tell us how influential they are. And I would already pick the Godzilla Compendium from Criterion. I would do David Lynch's Eraserhead and Mulholland Falls, Terrence Malick's Badlands. I've just...
So when I go into lapses of fancy, I'm always thinking like, what would I do if I won the lottery? How could I make other people's lives better? And then what would I do with myself? And then Eric is like, you know what? What would I put in the Criterion Collection? you really got to branch out when you're just like, you're having these little thoughts like, yeah, but if they would only come and ask me, they would know. I know. I would. Yeah, they have, because Criterion has done so many movies and so many awesome movies that I would just love to do that. That would be a dream come true. Eric, talk about movies and pick them out, and then it's such a fun series. It would quickly devolve to, how do we shut this guy the fuck up? They'd get you on a roll, and you'd go.
There's another thing that's similar, is called What's in My Bag. It's from Amoeba Records, and Amoeba Records is a big record store in I think the LA area, whatever. And they invite bands and other people to do What's in My Bag, and they get to pick out music and movies and records and stuff like that, and talk about why they liked him and put them in their bag. That's just another. That's like the second. There's Criterion Closet, and then What's in My Bag. Those are the two fantasies I have when I watch YouTube. Going, this is Eric Johnson from the Retro Video Store. I'm talking about what's in my bag here. And it would get like 2 views.
We would need a lot more than the 4 listeners we have.
Yes, we would. But that is like my dream fantasy. I daydream at work thinking about what I would pick from the Criterion Closet.
And again, for me, it's usually the lottery. And
yeah.
we've already talked about it. You're getting set up. You'll be fine. You'll never work again, dude.
Well, when I think about the lottery, there is an abandoned classic movie theater downtown called the Kimball's Pikes Peak, and it was it was a cool little arty house cinema. I would buy that, and I would just show whatever the fuck I wanted.
I wanted like Eric's Film-O-Rama. Like
Or it just would be
cardboard cutouts of you. What I would do is I would, on the soda dispenser, I imagine like tiny little like sculptures of your head. So when people pull the thing, the soda just spews from you. You
it would
don't
be
want to know what I have planned for the popcorn maker.
it would be the retro video cinema. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about the box office of 1996 and what a year that was as we close out. Independence Day came out that year and was the biggest movie in the United States for $306 million in the United States alone. We've done an episode on that. We should check that one out. Twister was number 2. We have not done an episode on that one.
I've never watched it.
It's not bad.
Really?
I haven't watched the sort of sequel Twisters that came out. Some people like it, but I hate soft reboot type movies. Mission Impossible was number 3, the original one, and The Rock was number 4. And The Nutty Professor, Hercules. That movie I kind of find is funny, but there's nothing funnier than Eddie Murphy playing the entire family around the table. That is just the highlight of the movie.
Lesbians is cool. Okay. Ransom. I really, really hate when Mel Gibson does like tortured characters, but as trite as I thought it was, and it didn't necessarily need to be redone, I really enjoyed The Birdcage. I really enjoyed Nathan Lane and Robin Williams in that movie.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. It's super funny.
It's so good. I gave him a speeding tablet. It's an aspirin with the A and the S scratched off.
Yeah, it's super funny movie. That's a classic. Hank Azaria and yeah, it's really super super funny. That is a good one. A Time to Kill, which I have not seen. Is that the one where like, yes, they deserve that to die and hope they burn in hell? Is that the one? I don't know.
Yes. Yep.
101 Dalmatians. That was the original Disney reboot, live action reboot, I think.
Yep.
First Wives Club. Didn't see that one. Eraser. That's one of the Schwarzenegger movies I've never seen.
Really, it's got a few good bits in it, but it's not worth necessarily watching. But if you ever do watch it, I want you to look for the secret handshake scene, because that's the way to go.
Okay. Phenomenon. That was what's his name?
John Travolta.
John Travolta still riding high off of the Pulp Fiction fumes, and they let him make more movies. Phenomenon. Hunchback of Notre Dame, Disney movie, which I've never seen.
What, the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yeah, it's not their best bit, but it's still pretty good.
Star Trek First Contact, not too bad. Space Jam, Broken Arrow, Jerry Maguire. The Cable Guy I do enjoy. It's still funny.
Cable Guy.
Courage Under Fire. 12 Monkeys, that's pretty good. Primal Fear, that's a good one.
You know what?
Dragonheart.
Dragonheart was kind of fun. I'm going all the way down to the bottom of this list.
Beavis and Butthead Do America.
So good. Lawnmower Man 2? Hell yes.
Oh my God. Happy Gilmore. Heat only made $35 million. That's weird.
Really?
Muppet Treasure Island. Long Kiss Goodnight.
Feeling Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
That was a little underrated.
Leaving Las Vegas, a bummer of a movie. Mars Attacks only made $27 million. We've done an episode on that. From Dusk Till Dawn did an episode on that. Scream did an episode on that. The Craft. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. I freaking love that movie. I know it is.
Never seen it.
Oh, it's so stupid. It's like a parody of all the Grown Up in the Hood movies, like Menace to Society and Boys in the Hood and all that kind of stuff like that. It's a Wayans Brothers movie, God. It is fucking stupid. But
Joe's Apartment. Remember that short film that was on MTV, and they decided to make a full movie. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, that was funny. Beautiful Girls. That's a pretty good indie movie, Miramax movie. Man, lots of indie films, and She's the One. Hellraiser Bloodline. Speaking of bloodlines in the end of movies, I guess Final Destination was actually pretty good. I haven't seen it yet. It's available to rent now, but I'm not willing to pay $19 for it yet. I'm sure it'll be on HBO within soon enough. But that was they took the Bloodlines tagline and actually made a good movie out of it, which is surprising because usually that's the death curse. If your franchise has got to the point where they're doing a movie that says Bloodlines and it's bad. Yeah, Dracula Dead and loving it. Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen, a misunderstood genius of his time. I don't think he's fully appreciated.
Lawnmower Man 2 Beyond Cyberspace. Wow. I remember the box of that at the video store.
So many good movies there's actually a lot of good movies that year.
Yeah, surprisingly, that's a good year for movies. Next week we're doing The Running Man, so where we switch our accents from Sean Connery to Arnold.
To Arnold, the Running Man. We'll talk about this. Whitman, Price, and Haddad.
I forgot all about that until I saw that today. They're supposedly the winners of the Running Man. They're like on beaches and stuff like that. But
yeah, you were impressed. I remembered that. So
I was. That was a good pull.
Thank you.
Pull, Neil. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Did you ever read the short story that came from?
No, I did not.
Stephen King.
Yeah,
a lot grittier.
I'm looking forward to The Long Walk. Have you seen the trailers for that?
No, what is it?
The Stephen King adaptation that's coming out. Looks pretty good. Looks really good. I'm surprised how faithful it is to the story, and it looks really interesting. So I'm kind of excited for that. The new trailer for Weapons came out again. The second trailer for that movie that looks pretty scary and weird. So I'm looking forward to that one too.
So now I'm reading the plot for The Long Walk. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's one of the Stephen King novellas back in the day. All right, everybody, if you want to hit us up on our socials, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. Instagram and Facebook mostly. If you want to go to buymeacoffee.com and support the cause, you can. And I don't know when David's going to be back. It sounds like he's going to be away for a couple of weeks because we're hitting peak fire season, and that's when David makes his money. So,
well, yeah, get out and make money, David. Don't sit around here and talk with us for free. It actually costs us. It actually costs us.
It does. It costs me money to do this.
Well, I did. You got to remember, I do send you, but you just got to remind me because I forget. Yeah. I forget. You got to remind me. It's not first on my list. Can I say that I am ridiculously looking forward to Running Man?
Oh, really? Awesome.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah. I watched the first hour of it today. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got to do this one because it's a nice balance of prime cheesy Schwarzenegger.
Oh God, and Jesse Ventura doing his sexy character. Ooh, yeah. God, so good, so good. You know what I want? I want everybody out there to have a really good week.
Yes, definitely. Have a good week, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Video Store Podcast.